people, here comes our tour bus right here. Here comes our little tour trolley that we're gonna take right now here in Dallas. Alright people, we're here in Dallas and we're gonna take a little city tour here. Here it is right here, the little trolley. Come on, let's go.
I gotta wait.
Where we go? Well, we're waiting here, getting ready to go, people. We're right here by the courthouse.
Okay, welcome to Big Deep on Tours. My name is Lisa. I will be your tour guide today. This is the city tour. Right here where we're sitting back in the early 1800s, this was all villages of the Caddo Indians. Back then, the rivers were the roads and the three forks of the Trinity River met right here. John D. Bryant, a lawyer from Tennessee, who was also a pioneer and explorer, came here to survey the land for a trading post. He built a 10 by 12 foot cabin to serve, like I said, as a trading post as well as his home. It burnt down. Whoops. He rebuilt it again out of wood. It burnt down again. It burnt down a total of 5 times. We're still missing 6 people, but I'm not worried. It messes up everything. I've got people out there waiting to be picked up. Coming up here on the left, the castle-looking building. This is the Old Red Courthouse. It was built in the late 1800s. It's made out of Texas red sandstone. It served as a courthouse for many years, and it's closed right now for renovation. And when it reopens, it'll reopen as the Texas 5th Circuit Court of Appeals. Here to the right is a statue of George Bannerman Dealey. He is the first publisher of the Dallas Morning News. This whole plaza here, Dealey Plaza, was built in his honor. But on November 22nd, 1963, this area became world famous for the site of the assassination of our 35th president, John F. Kennedy. As you go through this next slide, if you look up to the right, you're going to see a tall building with a giant ball on top. That is Reunion Tower. It has 259 programmable lights. There has a geoduck up there where you can go up to get a panoramic view of the city. And they have also just recently opened a brand new fine dining restaurant called the Crown Block. And I thought it sounded really interesting, so I got online to check it out. And I found out I will not be going there. It is way too fine for me. Here to the right is Union Station. This opened up in 1916 at its peak. It had 80 trains a day, and during World War II, over 100,000 soldiers went through here on their way to training. Thanks to DART, TRE, and Amtrak, it is still alive today. Up here on the right is the old headquarters of the Dallas Morning News. Established in 1885, the giant quote on the front of the building reads, "Build the news upon the rock of truth and righteousness." Too bad that it's really not followed these days. Coming up here on the right is the Omni Hotel. The lighting of this hotel is so high-tech that at night it looks like something off the Vegas Strip. They can actually stream video on this building, and they do during the Dallas Film Festival. They have great restaurants in there like Texas Spice, Owner's Box, Black Ship Little Cantina, and Bob's Steakhouse. If you want a good steak while you're in town, this is the place to go. Also, out here in the front lawn, you'll see a giant red Pegasus, mainly recognized for Mobil Oil, the merger of Exxon in 1999 and took ExxonMobil. The original symbol was built for the Magnolia Petroleum Company established in 1922. They had it built for the first annual meeting of the American Petroleum Institute in 1934. But oil tycoons and wildcatters wanted something big and flashy like them. They installed it on top of the Magnolia building where it stayed for many years. When it was taken down, it was lost. The Omni hired a private investigator to find it. They found it in an old storage building here in Dallas. Now coming up straight ahead of us is our convention center. It opened up in 1957. It was named after the first Texas woman to the U.S. Senate, Kay Bailey Hutchinson. It attaches to the Omni overhead. It has 2 million square feet of space, and it has 5 helipads on top of the building. It makes Dallas the 5th most visited city. Over 24 million people come through here every year. One of my favorites are the Fan Expo or Comic-Con. Oh my goodness, you gotta see the people walking around on the streets. Well, that's every day down here, and I forgot to tell you, I'm not responsible for anything you might see on the street. You can see anything, believe me, anything. See what I said about the red light? The nuts. Never even looked at it. Never even looked. Here to the right is a depiction of the Shawnee Trail that went from Texas to Oklahoma. The 6-foot handmade bronze steer, no truer length, being wrangled in by cowboys. This is a really great place for pictures. I got a couple seconds to stop here for you to grab a quick photo. And that is 2 minutes, not 10. I had a guy run up the hill on me one day. I almost died. I think it was a little language barrier or something happened. Don't have time for that one. 2 minutes.
2 minutes to come out here, baby. Let's go check it out. We got some cattle here. Look at that. Oh, there's a duck right there. Look at that. We got these rocks here. You gotta watch it here. You got just the way the cattle would cross through here. Look at that. And here we have the old cowboy right here. It's a nice one right here. I like this shot right here. Look at that. Huh? Nice. Look at that. And they go all the way up there. Here they come down. Very nice. Nice. See if I don't eat it over here. All right, let's roll. It's ringing, babe.
Do you mind to take a picture?
We gotta go, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
Sorry, let's hurry up before the bus leaves. Heard the bell. Saved by the bell.
Oh, if she wouldn't have told me, I might have left.
We heard that bell is helpful.
All right. If you look out at the sidewalk here while I'm leaving, you're going to see some pink squares. These are all brands of the cattle that use this trail. And I don't know if there's any more Yellowstone fans on here, but if you look back right here, you'll see the 4 Sixes Ranch brand. I didn't see it for a long time, and I know people that are on here thought I was insane or something, but I got all excited. But that's pretty cool. And also up here at the corner, there's a map of the trail. So this is actually a historical landmark. And if you come back, if you get a chance to come back here for pictures, I would, because it's a really great place for pictures. I actually had my granddaughters come down here. 2 of them graduated this year in May. And I had them come down here and they're camping down. Great pictures. Great place for pictures. As you can see, the trail goes all the way up the hill right here. They also have a really pretty waterfall, and up on top of the hill, they have a historical cemetery. As you go up the hill here, if you look to the right, you're going to see our Dallas City Hall. And this building was designed by world-famous designer IMK. And if it looks familiar, it was in the original RoboCop movie. It was their police headquarters, or Omnivore. And I had a teenager ask me not too long ago, what is a RoboCop? And it made me feel very old, very old. And then I told my 30-something sons about it that loved RoboCop, and it made them feel old, and for some reason, that made me feel better. I don't know why, that didn't mean I was younger, but it made me feel better. Coming up straight ahead of us, the AT&T Exchange Food Hall. It has 16 bars and restaurants. The 24-foot statue straight in front of us was originally named the Spirit of Communications. It sat on top of the AT&T building in New York City for many years. When they moved here in 2020, they brought him along. They said, he goes where we go. He's covered in gold leaf, and that's where he got his nickname, Golden Boy. Those things must go down. I never knew that, apparently.
They should have had those in Louisiana.
Well, they should with all the cycles.
Yeah, I know.
And here's the thing. The guy's from Texas. And he was born here. He wasn't born in the Middle East or anything. So
It takes many generations for that to wash out.
I know. I just don't understand it. Honestly, with all the women who are coming across the border, I'm surprised it's not worse. To tell you the truth.
That's true. That's a fact.
Yeah. I really am very surprised. What I'm so upset about coming across the border is all the drugs. My son worked for the National Guard. He said they've caught enough of that meth coming across that could kill the world 3 times over, and that's only what they've caught.
Yeah.
So it's bad. It's real bad.
And it still doesn't satisfy the drug need.
I mean, I don't have any problem with somebody wanting to work or something, but that's not what's coming across. Not at all. The drugs and the terrorists and everything. Yeah. Bad games. We don't need that.
Then the people here don't get it.
No, they don't. They think we're being, racial or something. That's not it. I mean, they have those no-fly lists. It doesn't do any good when they come across the border, right? I mean, they can get on an airplane. They went to Mexico and came from. Now, if you look to the left, you're going to get another really good view of the Shawnee Trail as we go by. And does anybody know how Dallas got its name? When John Neely Bryant came here from Van Buren, Arkansas, that was named after the president at the time. When he got here, the president's name was James Polk. Now, there's nothing wrong with the name Polk. It just does not have a very good ring to it. Can you imagine an American team being called the Polk Cowboys? So they held a meeting and Larry Gilbert suggested they name the city after the vice president at the time, George Mifflin Dallas. As we go through this next slide, if you look up to the left, you're going to see this is like the best view of our old red courthouse. It looks like a castle. And I wanted to know how come they put those gargoyles on top of buildings like that. I thought it was going to be something cool and mystical. It's to help water drain off the top of the building. I was pretty disappointed in that answer. Here to the left is the JFK Memorial. This was built in 1970. It was designed by Larry Johnson. The walls were constructed to appear as if they're floating to represent the free spirit of JFK. It was funded by the people of Dallas. Here to the left, this is Founders Plaza. This is a depiction of how Dallas got its start. The Y on the ground here represents the 3 forks of the Trinity River. And back there in the right corner is a replica of our founder's cabin. You get a better view of that after we turn. He had this built to serve as a trading post as well as his home. For himself, his wife, and 5 children. Can you imagine that little place? I cannot. I have convinced myself that it was his wife that was burning it down, hoping he would build a bigger one. Now, I'm pretty sure that's probably not true, but I can't say whether I would have done it. Now coming up here on the right as we go through the light, the building on the right, that is the old school book depository. Now the 6th floor museum on November 22nd, 1963. Lee Harvey Oswald got a right to work with Wesley Frazier. He got out carrying a long, slender package. He told everyone they were curtain rods for his new apartment. Later on that day, he made his way to the 6th floor, second window from the top on the right, where he allegedly shot and killed our 35th president, John F. Kennedy. Coming up here, this X right here is where the shots rang out. Also coming up here in the middle lane, that single X right there, that is where the motorcade came to a stop. And everybody thinks it's the last shot. No, it's not. Where the motorcade came to a stop. Up here on the right is the grassy knoll and the picket fence. It was after this that Dallas was known as the city of hate. Corporate America turned their backs on us. It took the Dallas Cowboys becoming America's team and the hit TV show Dallas running for 14 years to put us back on the map. You couldn't go anywhere without people talking about Dallas. Now I'd like to tell you about a man named Wade Morrison. He was a pharmacist in Virginia. He started to romance a doctor's daughter, and the doctor was having none of it. He didn't think anyone would want such a sugar. He was having none of it. I got lost her. Was having none of it. He did not think that Wade could support his little girl, so he had him run out of Virginia. Wade ended up here in Texas. Back then, pharmacists were also soda jerks. And the customers got bored with the flavors. So Wade teamed up with a chemist named George Elderson, and they came up with a new flavor. They named it after the doctor that ran way down in Virginia, the Dr. Pepper. It is older than Coke, originally named Waco in 1885. They changed the name to Dr. Pepper in 1904 at the St. Louis Fair. Now coming up here on the right is our extended stay hotel called the Dallas City Jail. You can check in, but you can't check out. I had a young girl go, "Why would they name the hotel after a jail?" I said, "It is the jail." And then the people are going, "Was she blind?" I said, "Yes, actually she was." Yeah, I had to try not to laugh because I really wanted to laugh. Here on the right is the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge. It is 400 feet high and 1,870 feet long. It is built out of Italian steel and it was designed by Santiago Calatrava. It opened up in 2012 at a cost of $117 million. Now we're crossing over the mighty Trinity River. Okay, doesn't look like much today, but don't let that fool you. In May of 2015, it rained for 28 straight days and it filled this entire bowl 40 feet above its normal. Now I'd like to tell you about a great businessman. His name was H.L. Hunt. He bought some land in El Dorado, Arkansas, and he got his first oil strike. He got a taste of what it was like to be an oil tycoon, and he loved it. Now I'd like to tell you about another oil man named Dad Joyner. He had a large oil strike here in East Texas, producing 100,000 barrels a day, and he is still going strong to this day. But he was a terrible businessman. He oversold the leases, got sued, and went into hiding. When H.L. Hunt heard about this, he found Joyner and bought everything from him for $1 million. It made H.L. Hunt the richest man in America overnight. H.L. Hunt had 14 children by 3 different wives. One of his more famous sons was Lamar Hunt. He coined the name Super Bowl. He started the Dallas Texans, which later became the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a member of 3 sports Hall of Fames: golf, tennis, and football. Now we're coming up to where a lot of our skyline pictures are taken from. I have a few seconds to stop here for you to grab a quick photo. Otherwise, these really nice Dallas drivers will start telling me I am number 1. And they will. Oh no, you can't get off.
Can't get out.
You can take it.
All right.
God only knows what would happen to you. If I get hit by a snake or something. Not a good thing. Hit by a car. Oh, here they come. Everybody good at it? No. I don't care. They don't bother me. I got it. As we turn to the right here, if you look back here to the left, that is the Trinity Groves neighborhood. They have a lot of really good restaurants back there. The Trinity Groves neighborhood is an up-and-coming neighborhood, and for good reason. See all this open land around the Trinity River? This is all part of the Trinity River Border Project. When complete, this will have the largest urban park in America, 10,000 acres and 10 times the size of Central Park in New York City. It is a work in progress. Come back in here, and it may look very different. Designed by world famous designer I.M. Pei. It is called Fountain Place for good reason. At the base of the building, there's 172 dancing fountains. Fountain Place was originally designed to be part of a Twin Tower project, but because of the budget shortfalls and the savings and loan scandal of the 1980s, the second one was never built. the horizontal escalator, that is the Parole Museum. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but this is the best view of the building right here. As we come down the hill here, if you look to the left at the base of this building, which is Fountain Place, you'll see some of the dancing fountains. Also here to the right is the Dallas World Aquarium. The entrance aquarium is on the other side. Inside there, they have a recreation of a rainforest. After you purchase tickets, you start at the top. You work your way down, around, and through it. You will see birds flying freely, tree-toed sloths in the trees. They have a monkey island, and they also have a warm water penguin exhibit. When you get to ground level, they have a 20,000-gallon aquarium with a walk-through tunnel. They're named #1 in the nation by USA Today. If you want to know places not to go, anything that has one of those in the parking lot with the camera on it, that tells you right there. Don't go there. You do not see what I'm doing right now, just so you know. Miguel also invented another machine, the frozen margarita machine. He got his inspiration for the Slurpee machine at the 7-Eleven. Oh, all they do is crash on that road. I'm sure that's what this is. Here to the left, these cars on the freeway, you can see them entering the tunnel. We're going to talk something about that here in a minute. Also here to the right, this yellow building. This is the oldest Dallas public school building left standing. This is the old Cumberland Elementary School. Established in 1885, it was known as a true melting pot. It educated students from many nationalities until 1958. Today, it is a USA bank. Also, this tall building that we'll be going by on the right. Remember I told you about H.L. Hunt? That's the Hunt family building. They are into everything now, even food trucks. Here on the left, this is one of the few parks in America that was built out of thin air. It was floating above the freeway. It has a kids area, there's a library funded by the Dallas Morning News. This is Clyde Warren Park. Clyde Warren's dad donated money for this park when Clyde was just 9 years old. To teach Clyde civic responsibility, Clyde had to come out here once a month to pick up trash. It was actually put in a contract for him to earn his inheritance. A lot of things happen here that are free. They have free yoga, Zumba, tango lessons, music events, movie screenings, rallies. Food trucks line both sides of this park. You can get their venues and schedules online.
Oh yeah, they have all these food trucks. It's hard to get them here.
This open area, that's where they have a lot of their free exercise classes. And also here on the left at Valley Park, they have 2 ground level fountains that you can run through to cool off on a hot Texas day. Probably not today. Across the freeway there is the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. That's where they print, store, and distribute all the cash in the area. Is Booker T. Washington High School. This is a magnet school for the performing and visual arts. To attend here, you must audition. They were holding auditions one day and they filled all the spots for that year. And not all the students that got to audition. One little girl wasn't having it. She grabbed the microphone off the stage and she started to sing. All the jaws in the room dropped to the floor. This was Grammy-winning singer Nora Jones. And yes, she got it. Coming up here at the next corner of the school is a sculpture of our beloved Pegasus that was made by the students here at Booker T. Washington. Pretty cool. And down here at the next corner of the school is a statue of another graduate of Booker T. Washington, Ernie Banks. He was also known as Mr. Cub or Mr. Sunshine for his big smile. He played for the Chicago Cubs and he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1977. We're now entering the largest arts district in America. 118 acres and over 70 city blocks. Coming up here on the right is another building that was designed by world famous designer IMK. It is the Morton Meyerson Symphony Center. And this building was designed so well that no matter what seat you sit in here, you get the exact same sound quality in every single seat. Ross Perot donated $10 million to the center and he wanted it named after his friend, Morton Meyerson. The Perot family has done a lot for the Arts District here in Dallas. As you go through the slide here, if you look to the left, you will see the Guadalupe Catholic Church, established in 1902 and as the second largest Catholic congregation, second only to St. Patrick's in New York City. It has over 25,000 registered members. They hold services every day to accommodate their membership, and they're also the cornerstone of the Latin community here in Dallas. Coming up here on the right is the Nasher Sculptural Center. To the left is the Crow Museum of Asian Art. And straight ahead of us is the Dallas Museum of Art. All these museums are free for general admission. You only pay for special exhibits. And see these things out here? I died laughing. They had some older people sat down in them, and let me tell you, it was hysterical. I went by, their legs were straight up in the air, it was straight up. Does anybody want to get out for a little culture? No? The First Baptist Church neighborhood. This church sits on 2 full city blocks. It just completed a $130 million remodel that included this dancing fountain out front here. This fountain dances to music every 15 minutes and back to back on Sundays. And also, the roof of this building has been crowned in 100% stainless steel to mimic the stained glass of the original building. Courthouse, the post office is still up and running to this day, but the courtrooms have all been converted into apartments. Doolin. He had a failing ice cream show during the Great Depression. While for a walk one day, he purchased a 5-cent bag of chips. The chips were so good, he offered to buy the recipe from the vendor. But she was smart. She wanted $100 for her recipe, and Elmer didn't have it. So Elmer's mother sold her wedding ring, and they started selling the chips out of the back of a pickup truck here in Dallas. They named the chip the Frito chip. Later on, they merged with another vendor in the area named Herman Lay. Can you guess what they named the company? Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay has also merged with PepsiCo, and now they control 60% of the snack food industry. the right after we turn, the tall building, that is the old Statler Hotel. It opened up in 1956, and when it did, it was known as the most technologically advanced hotel of its time. It had a 19-inch Westinghouse television in every room. That was a big deal back then. It is coming off a remodel. They wanted to keep some of the classic feel. That's why they have the classic cars parked up right here. And it is through these very doors right here that Tina Turner walked out on her husband Ike with 36 cents and her mobile card. Probably the best move of her career.
When we walk through, yeah, park the car at the corner. Is that the name of it? There's the house.
Coming up here on the left is the Old City Jail. It's in the basement of this very building right here that Jack Ruby shot and killed Lee Harvey Oswald for killing our 35th president, John F. Kennedy. It's right here at these bay doors that the armored car was parked. They wanted to use it to transport Oswald, but they found out it wouldn't fit through the tunnel, so they're using it as a decoy. This building looks exactly like it did in 1963. There's bay doors exactly like those on the other side. That's where Jack Ruby entered it. He had just been to the Western Union where he wired $25 to his mistress to help her pay her rent. He didn't want to drive all the way to Fort Worth to give her the money. It's a 90-second walk from the Western Union to the bay doors on the other side. That's where Jack Ruby entered in. He made his way through over 100 reporters, so when the elevator doors opened, he shot and killed Lee Harvey Oswald live on TV News. It was after this that the FCC put into place a 15 to 30 second delay on all live TV broadcasts. They wanted to prevent any further atrocities from ever entering American homes again. Over the years, there's been several things that have still made it through. The Space Shuttle Challenger explosion, 9/11, the Boston Marathon and the whole Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake wardrobe malfunction. Glad I missed that one. Now we're on our way to Deep Ellum. Originally named Deep Elm, but because of the Texas accent, it kept coming out Ellen, so the name stuck. In the 1920s, this was a hot spot for jazz and blues. Now it is known for its restaurants, breweries, and bars. There's 3 restaurants down here that are featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. The first one we come to is going to be on the right, and it's a stop here for Deep Ellum. It is the Cane Rosso. They are known for their authentic Italian food. What's going on down here. Also here to the left, across from the Cane Rosso, is the Twisted Root Burger. They are known for their corny celebrity jokes. Oh yeah, the truck driver did something stupid. And 1 block over and 1 block up is one of the best barbecue places down here, the Pecan Lodge Barbecue, but I'm going to let you know that there's another one down over here on Main Street. I took a private tour, and they went to Terry Black's Barbecue, and I'm going to tell you it was the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. So I'm going to tell you, if you want good barbecue while you're here, come back down and go to Terry Black's Barbecue. But they don't pay me to say that. That is the honest truth. Oops. You got stuck. That was fun. We're now turning onto Henry Street. This street is named after Henry Ford, the maker of the Model T. You can see a mural of the Model T on the building here to the left. The Model T was made in the building straight ahead of us, a red brick with the white trim. There was also another vehicle made in that building when Henry still owned it for the military, called the Jeep. Later on, he sold the building to Adams Hats. Adams Hats made sports hats. They made over 2 million sports hats in that building. If you know somebody that's into sports, then they own a hat that was made at Adams Hat. Today it's been converted into luxury, high-end loft apartments. Now coming up here on the right is Dallas's first dog park, Bark Park Central. This area right here is an example of some of the growth here in Dallas. Many of these apartments, townhomes, and lofts are fairly new, and the ones that aren't new have been converted into apartments. We're seeing this as a common trend here in Dallas. They take some of these beautiful old buildings and give them new life. We find this a great way for us to preserve some of our architectural heritage here in Dallas. There's another reason that Texas is a popular place to live. We pay no state tax. Not to say we don't pay taxes. We pay property tax, sales tax, federal income tax. Mark Cuban used this as a recruiting tool for the Dallas Mavericks. There's another reason this area right here is so popular. It's where we're on our way to the Dallas Farmers Market. It was remodeled several years ago and it's become a foodie's paradise. You can get pizzas, pastas, Cajun food, Caribbean food, Indian food, tamales, ice cream. Have I made anybody hungry yet? You can also get an authentic made in Texas item here for your trip to Dallas. Also, the local farmers come out here once a day with their select cuts of meat, fresh dairy, fresh eggs. And there's also a lot of good shopping in the area. Does anybody want to get off at the farmer's market? No. Let me stop a second. I was supposed to have some people get back on, but I did not see them.
He's about to go do this.
Very nice. It's gotta be like Seattle.
Yeah. I'm here on time. They're not here, so I guess well. Is the St. Pete's Scottish Rite Cathedral. Here to the left is the First Presbyterian Church of Dallas. Established in 1885, there's 3 very distinctly different architectural designs. The original building is right here on the corner. Beautiful old building. What I really think is cool about this building is they still use it. They use it as a daycare. Back there on the left was the old Warner Brothers studio. It's in that very building back there that Rob Johnson recorded half of his blues songs in there in the 1920s. City Aquarium is right down this street to the right. And I did drop some people off here, and I guess they're having so much fun with their adult guys. Apparently. It is very cool. Make sure you let me know if there's somewhere you want to get off. I'm really bad about asking. Go to the left. We're now brushing the edge of our historical West End Entertainment District. And these buildings right here on the left, in the 1950s, Roy Orbison, Buddy Holly, and Elvis all performed in here. Because during the 1980s, and a group of 3 girls were out here on the sidewalk performing. They were drawing a bigger crowd than the paid performances inside. They were known as the Dixie Chicks. Now known as just the Chicks. We're now on our way to the Ross and Margot Perot Museum of Nature and Science. Inside there, you can see life-size dinosaurs. You can dissect DNA. You can build a robot. Well, you can build it, but you can't take it home. You can test your abilities at pro sports. They have an earthquake simulator, and they also have the largest collection of precious metals and gemstones. They are known as the most interactive museum in the world. Anybody want to get out for a little nature and science? No? I draw some people up here too and I don't see them. No, I don't see these people either. Coming up straight ahead of us is one of Dallas's more dubious distinctions. We are home to the largest pair of Hooters in the nation. This restaurant was featured on Undercover Boss Season 1, Episode 2. Out front of the restaurant here is a sculpture of a giant pair of owls. As you turn the corner here, if you look out to the left, you will see Dallas's giant Hooters. This restaurant had, I guess, a kitchen fire. They've been working on getting it back going. I saw they were moving their TVs in, so it must not be too long and they'll be open again, but they're not open right now. Here to the right is the Dallas House of Blues. Established in 1994 in Cambridge, Massachusetts by the actor Dan Aykroyd of the movie The Blues Brothers. They have a lot of really good music venues that go on here. Looks like they're getting ready for one right now. Also here to the left is Dick's Last Resort. To go in there, you must have a very good sense of humor. The staff is paid to insult you. They put a big paper hat on your head and they write something on it. My co-worker's hat said, "I played marbles with Jesus." I guess they were trying to tell her she looks old. Another lady's hat said, "I'm still hot, but now it comes in flashes." And they can get way more crude than that, I can't even say. I heard a 12-year-old boy tell his mom after I talked about it. He goes, "Mom, I want to go there." I said, "Oh, no, you don't, because you've been reading. Your mother does not want to be explaining what is written on those hats. No way does she." We are now entering the Victory Park neighborhood. There was nothing here before the year 2000. This was all built up after the American Airlines Center went in 2001. The American Airlines Center is home to the Dallas Mavericks and the Dallas Stars. The American Airlines Center seats 21,000 people. As I turn to the right here, if you look to the left, you will see the American Airlines Center. And to show you how artsy I am, I think this looks like a bunch of giant pool noodles. Pool noodles. Here to the left, they just recently put up that hockey statue of one of our great hockey players, Mike Modano. He also played for the Minnesota North Stars before they moved down here. Very well deserved. I was happy about that. And does anybody know who that basketball statue is of? That is Dirk Nowitzki, one of the greatest players to ever play for the Dallas Mavericks. And this street is also named after him. Yeah, people get shocked when I actually let them walk. That's what people are supposed to do when they don't do it. Coming up on the back of the front museum, this is all planted in Texas prairie land. All these plants are designed to take the rainwater during the rainy season so they can take care of themselves during the dry season. Is the El Phoenix Mexican restaurant. Established in 1918 by Miguel Martinez, for the 100th anniversary, they have the mural painted on the side of the building that reads, "Don't mess with Tex-Mex." They are the originators of Tex-Mex cuisine here in Dallas. Miguel was also an inventor. He invented the first corn tortilla chip making machine. And he sold it to a man for $200. That man's name was Herman Lane. then right here, if you look to the left, you get another really good view of our Dallas City Hall or Omni Tour. Here on the left, the building with the red awnings, this is our flagship Neiman Marcus. Established in 1907, it is actually a historical landmark. Anybody want to get out for a $1,000 pair of shoes? No. I think the cheapest thing they have in here is a $25 tin of chocolate chip cookies. And here's a little secret. You can get the recipe for free online. Every year, Neiman Marcus comes out with a catalog of super high-end gifts. One year, for only $1.5 million, you can get your very own rose gold colored private jet that's seated 3. Herbert Marcus, the co-founder of Neiman Marcus, had an opportunity to invest in a new beverage company, but he didn't think anyone would want such a sugary drink. He turned down the opportunity to invest in Coca-Cola. Oops. Now we're going to be coming up on a unique piece of art by Tony Tassett. It is a 30-foot eyeball designed after his own baby blues. It is called the Eye of the Jewel, and it is part of the Jewel Hotel's art collection. And this is why I tell you I don't really understand art. That's art. And they actually hold wedding receptions in front of that thing. Why? I don't know. I would not want my wedding reception in front of a giant eyeball. I don't know if it's supposed to be good luck or what. I think it's a little creepy. Here, if you look halfway down the block, there's a French-style building. The detail on that building is just amazing. They just don't make them like that anymore. That is the original Adolphus Hotel. Adolphus Busch, the guy who made Busch beer, came here from St. Louis and he fell in love with the city. He wanted to build something grand and posh. When the hotel went up in 1912, it was a college building at the time, till the Magnolia building opened up next door in 1922. The Adolphus was the first hotel to have central air conditioning, and that was in the 1950s. A lot of important people have stayed at the Adolphus. Queen Elizabeth, King Charles, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Ronald Reagan have all stayed at the Adolphus. Renaissance Tower. This building was used as Ewing Family Oil Building in the TV show Dallas. This building lights up with a giant white X at night, and the antennas on top of the building also light up in white.
I think we walked past and it was dark.
What?
That something.
No, we did. We saw it. We came on this side and went back on the other side.
Oh my God. Did he do this? I don't think so. I think he did. They do it all day long. All day long. It's not cars I have to look for either. It's that. They walk out of between cars and no. Here on the left is the Bank of America building. This is the tallest building here in downtown Dallas. 72 stories, and the edges of the building light up green at night. It can also light up different colors for different holidays and events. It's the only building I know of here in downtown Dallas that has double-decker elevators. Now we're going to be coming up on the historic West End. Down in there, you can get a custom cowboy hat or cowboy boots at Wild Bill's Western Store. Also down in there, across from Wild Bill's, is the Y.O. Ranch Steakhouse. All their beef is locally sourced at none other than the Y.O. Ranch. Across from the Y.O. Ranch is one of our smaller museums, the Museum of Illusions. And also down in here is the Holocaust Museum. It was started by the Holocaust survivors of the area that wanted to teach people about what had happened. It goes over 3 main events. It has a unique stone wishing table, and it also has an Anne Frank exhibit. And they have also expanded it to include human rights and tolerance for all. That is right down here. Now we're almost back to where we started. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I hope you have a great time while you're here in Dallas. And we're back.
All right, people, there you go. That's the tour right there. You come in there, I do recommend that you do learn a lot. So give me a thumbs up. Y'all check it out. Y'all stay clean and have a happy new year. I love y'all. Y'all take it easy.